All right, strategy aligned professionals, we are keeping the momentum going. We are now on day 2 of our 5 days of implementation. We're going to be drafting SOPs, plain and simple. So we're going to be going into 3 different work processes that you can do, 3 different, basically 4 tools. 2 of them are new, 2 of them you've heard of before. If you've been going through the training, all right, or if this is your first framework, then welcome. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm excited to have everybody here, and I'm excited to get questions from the audience. But also, as you're watching the replay, feel free to tag me, or if someone on the call says something and you want to talk to them, tag them. All right, get that communication going, get that conversation going. So let's start with an introduction to using tools for support. The 3 things we want to get out of leveraging these tools is, of course, clear instructions, step-by-step guidance for executing tasks, ensuring everyone follows the same process. Consistency, they maintain uniformity across departments, reducing errors and improving overall efficiency. And then we get to efficiency. Well-crafted SOPs, streamline workflows, saving time, and reduces the daily operations. So as I was working on finalizing today's talk, this particular talk, a question came across my mind, and it was, are SOPs task? You know, because of course we could do that inside of other tools like a Monday.com or even a Cascade. You know, they're task based, and the answer is yes, they are. You know, and what we're going to find out today is there is a difference between the type of tool you use and how you might build out your entire SOP strategy, so it fits into your task management strategy. So think about these things here, because and the reason why I thought about it, because I'm like, all right, I'm recommending tools specifically for SOPs, but could you do this in other tools that may be more task management? And I don't fully have the answer to that yet, because I'm playing around with these tools and I see that it can do things. I've already made major differentiations between Scribe, which we're going to look at, and Talify. Now that I had time to play with them both in depth, I now know what some of the huge differences are between the 2. Okay. And to me, they're kind of huge. All right. So they will make a difference in regards to which one you may decide to choose, or believe it or not, you could actually use both. So, but at the end of the day, it also depends on your budget. So our first tool we're going to look at is Scribe. And so we're going to talk about capturing your process. So there's Erica. Let me invite her up, and then I will get back on thought here. So you enable the Scribe extension, so you can work within the platform itself, and you can also have an extension. So I will be leveraging the extension, but I will be inside the tool. So enable Scribe extension. Activate the Scribe browser extension to begin capturing your process in real time. Perform tasks. Execute your task naturally while Scribe records each step automatically. Review and customize. Edit the generated guide. Add explanation and remove sensitive information as needed. So on the Pro plan, you can blot out things before, of course, pushing it out to everybody to see if there's some sensitive information. And then if you're on a Pro plan, you can apply branding, incorporate your company logo, color scheme for a more professional, polished look across all of your scribes. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in, and I'll do Scribe, and then I'll pause for questions, and then we'll move to our next tool. So let's come over here. So we're inside of Scribe. So I played around with it quite a bit, and you can see I have a few things in here, and I'm just going to walk quickly down the right side and consider this your unofficial demo. Okay, so you don't have to go through as much as I went through just to get started. So you can see the things that are created by you. If you're by yourself, then everything's going to be created by you here. So if I click on here, you're seeing I've created 3 things. I moved something so it's no longer there. So I created by me. You can see whatever's saved. You can invite team members, and I believe you can have unlimited team members on a pro plan. And then you can see insights, how people are interacting with the content. So this is the first big difference between this tool and the tool Talify, and I'm still trying to figure it out. So I don't have all of the answers, but you can create tasks, but I'm not sure if you can measure their walking through. So I've got 62 steps. I don't know if I can measure them walking through each step, which I can do in Talify, which we'll see a little bit later. So that's the one thing I'm going, okay, that's one major difference is if I can't, I can see where they start, but that's all I might be able to see. Okay. And what happens is you can create documents, scribes, and pages. And scribes are independent individual processes, like me recording myself, uploading and optimizing a blog post. That whole thing is a scribe. But if I wanted to create the whole process of my blog strategy, then I would create a page and then add all of those scribes to that page. Okay. So that's the difference between a page and a scribe. Scribes are independent of each other. Pages may house a group of scribes on a page to do something like Twitter marketing or this as a complete thing. Then you can create tasks, but again, I still haven't figured out how tasks themselves tie back into the scribe. So this is the one thing I haven't figured out. But again, we're not here for that yet. My goal is for you to walk away with an actual really well documented SOP. So, and let me do this. Let me go new. And I didn't upgrade yet because I realized I didn't have to do that yet. So let me just go to browser and I'm going to choose the page I want. So I'm going to choose right now SEMrush. And so now it's capturing that browser. So now what I'm going to do is I want to create a new post. So I'm going to say generate content. I'm going to choose link based because I'm going to pull in one of my blogs that I've created. So I'm going to take this blog and I'm going to copy the address. And then I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to hit that in there. I'm going to make it a recap. I am going to specify the tone as informative. I'm going to specify the type as a question. And then I'm going to generate the post. And the cool thing is there was space in between this. Now this is recording it as a video just as well as step by step. So if I pause for 5 minutes, it's going to cut that out of the video. Okay. So, and that's the power of using this over possibly using a tool like Loom, which you will actually have to use when you're using the other tool, Talify, if you want to use video, unless of course you again get both of these tools. And so if you get Loom and you use any of your other video recording, you won't be able to cut out anything. You'll have to edit it yourself. And that's the difference between this here. So now it's created this thing. I like it. I'm not going to post it because I do need to read it. I could also look at adding a static image here. So let's go ahead and find an image. Let's do a post image. Let's find ourselves an image for this bad boy. You know what? Let's go ahead and walk through this. So let me read this. You can create. How can you? All right. Looks kind of okay. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. We're going to go ahead and post this. Okay. Oh, we're still waiting for the image here. Come on, Nelly. That was a cow I used to own. No, I didn't own any cows. I don't have a cow. And not sure if I want one. HTTPS. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that nice little photo. Wow, they're getting good at the text here. But I think I like this one. What do you guys think? Which one do you like? You like this first one? All right, we're going to go with the first one then. So let's go ahead and send to poster. Again, we're just going to capture this entire thing. Why not? And this will be specific. This SOP will be specific if they're promoting a blog post. And again, I use SEMrush, so I'm and for my posting strategy. Empower your team success with essential SOs, missing the P. Darn it. I don't care. We're going for it anyway, people. And let's add it to X. Let's add it to Google Business, and let's also add it to Pinterest. We're not going to add it to. We're not going to add it, of course, to TikTok. And I got to copy it, and then I have to paste it. Command V, and then of course I have to push out. So in certain cases, you don't want to have the URL. So I don't want to have the URL in our LinkedIn post because it kills our organic reach. So I'm going to pull LinkedIn out, and then I'm going to remove the link. I'm going to say learn more by clicking below, because this tool actually makes the post itself a link. So it links the image so I can pull the link out on LinkedIn. I leave it in when I do Facebook. Okay. So now that one's ready to go for that. Then I'm going to pull out X because I got to reduce the text. So it hits that, it stays under the I believe it's over by 254 characters. So since I have AI assistant on that, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to shorten it. Shorten. It's probably still too long. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of this whole section here. Let's insert that back in there and see if that helps. All right, good. So we're down. So leave that there. So the only other one that might cause me a problem is Pinterest, because they have a character limit of 500. So let's go ahead and post that now. And again, this could possibly have some serious errors, but I don't care because this is all for the name of science, people. This is all for science. Okay. And it didn't go through. So yes, they had a problem with the image. Always got a problem with the image. So let's come in here and let's update the image. Let's transform it to a post. Let's do that. Let's make it a square. Say, oops, nope. Darn it. I'm messing up like channel 4. I don't care. We're going for it anyway. Post. All right. So you got, all right. Guess what? You lose. No Pinterest today. Post. So make me look bad in front of my friends. There we go. All right. And let's complete capture. And so there's a number of things you can do. So if we think about what we talked about over the last few days, it pulls the image of the website you were on. So there were 62 steps of 7 minutes. Here on a pro plan, I can start to customize it. I can come through and I can update the instructions on what you're doing here. You know, if it looks good, you can leave it and you keep going. And of course, it zooms in automatically on stuff. So you don't have to do any zooming. And let's just say I'm done editing. So now when we talk about sharing, you can share a number of ways. You can actually just embed it. And now this is part of your thing. So if you embed this as a slide, a movie, or scrolling, if you make changes to this slide, wherever you have it embedded, it updates automatically. So that's one cool thing. So at that point, now if you want to export, I didn't update again to a pro plan, but if I can export as a PDF, HTML, Markdown, Microsoft Word, and this is something new I don't know about, Confluence. So I'm interested, so I will look that up later and see. But what we're looking at here is if you want to embed it anywhere on the internet, if you have a place on your website and that you're using to, that only your internal team has access to, or even in this community, if I wanted to start to create some stuff inside of, some SOPs that I would like to use inside of Circle for you, I could embed this directly into Circle. So again, and the only thing that I haven't figured out is, can I track how, especially if it's an SOP to do a task, can I track it like I track steps in a project management tool? And again, I don't know how I would tie that in. I haven't figured that out yet. So that is it. Now, the other thing I was able to do is I was able to start to create folders in my shared account and my private. So I started creating folders called content marketing, customer service, hiring, internal processes, project management, sales and marketing. So this is where I might have other people and I can move these over to that folder if it's relevant. So sales and marketing, I would probably create a new folder more or less called social media. And then this would be part of that social media. Then I could build pages to house all of my social media on it if I wanted to. Then I created some private ones. And I'm like, okay, what would I create that would be private to me that I wouldn't want anybody else to see? Then I was thinking like things like leadership training, meditation. Maybe I have a meditation I like to do. I for a while, I had an app on that was supposed to help me exercise because I'm definitely sitting behind my desk way too often. So I might add that back to my phone and then save some of those works there. AI training. So you can start to customize it this way. And this is where you might start to house some of your content, because you can you can publish these pages. I just don't know where. But I think this is enough. To me, the selling point for this tool, which right now the other tools that I'm going to demo can't do, is they can record in real time whatever it is that you're working on. And you now have it as a step-by-step with the screenshots and everything, which to me is a lot of the work. Now, I'm going to link to a couple of training videos for this that I didn't do, and also for Talify, that I thought they did a great job. And this is where I picked up a lot of my tips from so I could fast track my learning. And so the guy was like, if you're just doing stuff that's based on the web, then you don't need to upgrade. But if you want to integrate other apps on your computer, your desktop, because that's part of your workflow, then you will have to upgrade to a pro version so you can capture all of that, if all of that is part of your overall SOP for getting something done. Okay, everybody understand that? Okay, so that's enough on this tool. Let me pause for a second, see if we have any questions. I'm going to move on to our next tool. Anybody got any questions, thoughts, or ideas? Nope.
No.
I was just going to say, I didn't realize that SEMrush did so much.
SEMrush is the Swiss Army knife of digital marketing, period.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, and right now, Elizabeth is the only person that took me up on doing some market research. So, Elizabeth, you're the bomb. The rest of you you're cool too, but I'm just all right. Anybody else? Anything to say? If not, I'm going to keep moving.
How much is this one per month?
This one hits about $30. This one and the Talify, who I'm about to show you now, is also $30 a month. And there is a bit different. So for every person you add onto Talify, it's $5 a person.
Mm.
Okay, if they're a coworker, I believe that's how it goes. Now for the other one, I don't think that's the case. I think you can just add people, and again, I'll have to look that up. But you're going to see a huge difference in the workflow. So for this one, I like this one a lot. And so one thing I didn't do in here is it's creating the SOPs based on the fact that I'm doing something with my computer. Okay, I don't think it can create out of thin air. So that's one of the big differences with this. But this is where now Talify will be different. So now let's take a look at Talify. Let's go through the thing here. And it uses templates, or it creates templates on your behalf. Okay. And so I'm going to show you a number of different ways it does that. It can now, this one can assign, it'll take your entire workflow and allow you to assign it to people, which is why you're paying extra for people on this platform. And then you can actually monitor progress across all of your SOPs. So again, this one's different. Now, I thought this one could record, but it cannot. So again, so now you're seeing the two differences. One can record, one cannot. One can track, the other one cannot. So now you see the difference where you might end up using both, or you might have something that you can use as a place to house all of your steps. You know, let's say you use Scribe, but you partner with Monday.com. The only issue is you still have to, if you want to track the steps, you have to now read the steps and actually build them out inside of a tool. You see that, and so this one you don't. So let's go ahead and take a look at Talify, and that's this one here. And if we go over into it, I'm on a 14-day free trial, so I have full access to the tool. And so I'll walk you down the left side. You're on the home page. For some reason, there's nothing here. I don't understand this home page. You can't put anything on it. So I changed the background. Okay. So you can favorite any of your SOPs that you create. You can create more than SOPs, but one of my SOPs that I need to create is a better onboarding session for the new members we're planning on bringing into the community. So that's going to be a focus. I'm creating a new SOP, one for me, but two, so I can pass it off to the community manager who will be responsible for some really serious onboarding. Okay. We can create independent tasks if we wanted to. The tracker allows us to track how well your processes are going. Okay. Here's the template. So this is the meat. This is where it gets exciting. Okay. But I'm going to keep going before I start. Now, if you start adding people, here are the people. You can see their activities, the cadences. You can see all of this other stuff. Now, one cool thing is for this particular tool, you can have, let's say you've got 2 VAs or 3 employees, but you can have unlimited guests. So now let's say you're working with a client and the client is part of the SOP. Well, you don't have to pay for them. You can invite them, and when their step comes up, it notifies them and they just do their step, and then it goes back to you. So again, the only difference is you need to build the SOPs. So that's the difference. Okay. But I'm going to show you something really cool. So you can invite people. There's a guide to walk you through it. There's settings. So I was able to actually go in and brand it with my color scheme and our logo. So again, if you are inviting customers and guests and clients and whatever, it's branded to you. So I don't even think they even see Talify at this point. I don't know, but I'm thinking that because again, it's branded now. So now let's go over here. The crux of it is the template. So let's click on, I want to create. So we're going to create a new template. And so this opens up. And you can create from scratch. So you just name it, or you can create from AI, or you can create from an existing SOP. So let's say I want to create from AI. You choose either procedure or document. So the question becomes, what's the difference between a procedure and a document? And this actually goes for Scribe as well. A document is kind of like something that has no action attached to it. Like you're giving people you want to give people here's the policy around vacations, taking a vacation. Here's the policy around anything internal around the office, like passwords. So that's a document. Procedures or when you have steps. So that's what you choose. So if you're creating SOPs, it will always be a procedure. You name the procedure. This here is your industry. So you'll click down and determine, well, what's my industry? So it makes it specific to your industry. All right. And then, of course, you can actually choose multiple languages. OK, so if you happen to be dealing bilingual with English and Spanish, well, now you can actually create your SOPs in both English and Spanish. OK, but let's say I created one already, so we don't have to wait for it to do it. So I'm going to come out of here. And I did new community member onboarding. So I'm just going to click into it. And it used AI and it created the steps for me. So it created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specific. I thought these were the steps at first, but they create steps within the welcome and introduction. I put in membership, so I didn't do anything else. And it didn't look at anything that I had, like the moving forward small business community. So welcome and introduction. If I click over here to the steps and I click on the steps, this is the content. Draft and send a personalized welcome email to the new community member, including warm greeting, brief introduction to the community, and any immediate next steps, which I could also put in here. So this is, again, talking to me as the person that's got to do this work. If I come in, then there's the next step is arrange a one-on-one welcome call with the new member, use a scheduling tool. So again, if I have that, I can integrate that in here to make it easier. And again, the objective of what we're doing is processes, and processes are things that have to be done over and over and over again. Okay. And then conduct a welcome call. And every time I finish it, I just check it off that it's been done. I can also assign it to someone. So again, this is a template. So if there's a person that does step part 1 and part 2, they're assigned to this. And then when they're done and it goes to now the community manager now gets notified and they take over. Okay. And again, so this now takes all of this pressure off of you. And let's say that there's a step where the community manager has to do something, then he has to wait for feedback from someone else, and then he continues. Well, all that's automated as well. Every step is assignable to whoever is supposed to be there. That way we're not sitting around wondering who did what and things are falling through the cracks and people didn't do what they're supposed to do. So again, I'm not going to go too crazy about this, but I want to go back and I want to show you what it looks like to upload a template. So I'm going to give you the step before we get here. So most of you remember on the live call, I made this PDF of, using AnyWord to create my first event, to create an event from scratch using Eventbrite and running ads. So now I wanted to try, what does it look like when I upload a PDF? Okay. So now if I used AnyWord to create it, because again, this tool, it can create out of thin air. But if you already have SOPs, or you want more control over creating the SOP before you feed it into this tool, well, you can use your generative AI tool and create the SOP, drop it into a Word doc and make it a PDF, and then you can upload it. So I uploaded it, upload from an existing PDF, existing SOP. So I uploaded it already. I called it Creating an Eventbrite event. And these are the steps it created from that document when I uploaded it. It created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets. And in each bucket, I can see the task. And it is on point, ladies and gentlemen. It is locked in and ready to rock. Okay. Sign up to log into the event, verify your email, complete the button. And again, I didn't do any of this. Okay. Let's look at the next task, the next set of tasks. So there's 6 of these. Navigate to create the event, fill in the event details, write the event description, select the category and tags. Now, I just recently did this, so I know there are categories and tags, and it knew that. set up the tickets, upload the images. So it did all this. Now all I got to do, if I don't like it, I can regenerate it, or I can go, good, continue. Let's go ahead and push that into it. And then you're into 3 stages when you're, because you're not done yet. It doesn't go live here. So right while that's pushing over, let's come back out of here to our templates. You got 3 stages. You got in progress, finished, then published. These 2 that are published were already set up when I created the account. So I would most likely delete these because I had to choose some things I wanted to create SOPs around, but none of them really match what I'm trying to create an SOP around. So I just chose anything. Okay. But once you do determine, right now this is in progress, so it means I'm working on it. I'm finished. Maybe I want a final approval, and then I can publish it. And then you hit the launch button. That means you can launch it out into wherever it is that you're hosting this, where people can actually now get access to it and do work. Okay. All right. So let's come back over here. And so now it's there. And now I can start to work on it. And again, that's as far as I'm going to go today. Tomorrow, we're going to dig into working with a team. All right. So let me pause from here, see if anybody has any questions. So anybody have any questions about this tool? I do have some notes I want to pull up here that I made sure I wanted to say. All right, I talked about documents and procedures, the difference between the 2. Again, you can go from scratch using Talify AI, or you can use an existing document. And again, you can't record like you can in Scribe, but you can add video to any of your steps. You just have to record it on another tool like a Lumen 5 or your Zoom or whatever else you might use to capture video and make a short video, like a welcome video. So let's say if this is an onboarding process and you want a welcome video, you can still make one and then embed it into step 1. Watch this welcome video. Okay. So again, totally different ways of looking at this. The difference is this one you can track when people go. It's set up that when they click start, they have to sign into the framework. They have to sign into the actual. They have to sign up to start the process, which shows that they started the process. Then it tracks them through completion. Okay. I'm not sure if that would be disabled, of course, if they're doing that task over and over again, because it is an SOP, but it is one way to see how well people are getting access to the are going through the process. Okay. All right. Again, pause for a second. Questions? No questions?
I think it's just great for identifying delegation and having the process just reiterated for individuals who need to be on your team that need that process. It's just an easy way to record it and just, man, it's just again a new tool that is just revolutionizing to a degree the people that need it.
Absolutely. And again, this is what you have to think about is which tools are best for me, because again, if you can get away with Scribe on the free plan, then you haven't incurred any costs. The question for us, the thing is to eliminate, to make sure that people are doing the right thing, especially if it's digital, and they can leverage that tool. But again, it doesn't mean that you can't do offline stuff as well. It's just a place for them to make sure that they, especially when an onboarding process is, and they just need to know how things work around the office. That's where you might track that they went through the entire onboarding process. So that's done. The other aspect is the SOP side of it, is that this is a repetitive task that must be done. Again, when I walk through that social media structure using the SEMrush tool, it's a very specific thing that I actually checked, I needed to do in order to be efficient. I've got it down to a science. But if I just go, hey, go start using SEMrush, you'll figure it out. I really don't want them to figure it out because they might not figure it out. Or I've had VAs that literally would run circles around each other. And I'd be like, why are you doing it that way? And they're just like, oh, well, I didn't. And I go, well, there's literally the straight line right there. And they go, oh. And you just cringe. You're just like, okay. So it's not that obvious. So, all right. So then I'll go ahead and move to the final one. And that will be leveraging any word in Gamma. And so basically any word or any generative AI tool is going to create your SOP. And usually I'll create 2 or 3 different variations of it and then read through each one, find the one that's most locked in with what I want, push it over. And again, I'm speaking specifically of the AnyWord tool, clean it up, add things to it. Then I pull it out, put it into a Word doc, clean it up more, update the steps. Again, because now I'm doing it manually, even though it was the majority of it was created for me. And then I can upload that to Gamma if I want to make it a nice presentation. Again, it's housed nowhere. So at this point, I might have it in a Google Drive where they have access to these files, but then you can't track who's watching them, if they are watching them, what steps they're on. Again, so this becomes the third potential option if you want to save money and just get things done, especially if you're using like ChatGPT or something. You can tailor the content, then you can, make it visually appealing. Okay. So let's go back over here. So we got AnyWord. So I did another post where I said I need an SOP for uploading and optimizing a blog post on WordPress. But I also added, we also have Yoast and Link Whisperer installed. And I added those extra things because I need them to use those two. Those 2 things are key to optimizing it, even if they've used ScaleNut for the original blog article, which said it was at 86% optimized. It still needs to go through Yoast and Link Whisperer for final processing. Okay. So I added those 2 steps in it, not telling it what they were, but the tool was smart enough to figure out. So it did the standard operating procedure. I cleaned it up, optimized it a bit. Do that there. It gave me a prerequisite. So I could add to the prerequisite, I can go blog is at least 80% optimized from ScaleNut, because those are most of the articles I use for blog optimization for pillar content strategy comes from my ScaleNut. So now that's a prerequisite. You start this once you have an article out of ScaleNut at 80% optimized. Okay. So this is me optimizing whatever I do. I'll read through it and I'll go, I need another step. Boom, boom, boom. I need another step. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And so it pulled in the Yoast, so it wrote the Yoast optimization for me. Now I know the Yoast, so I can read through it and go, yep, you're missing a step. So I'll one step I see that's missing is, and I'm not sure if this is in the right place, but I'm just going to say 3, determine if this is a cornerstone piece and define category. So that's something that I know that it may not have picked up. Okay. So again, this is me updating it, but it definitely made my life a lot easier than having to write this whole thing. So now I'm going to copy this entire thing, Command C, and I'm going to go to Gamma. And since I'm making it an SOP, I'm not going to make it a PowerPoint. I'm going to say create with new AI, and I'm going to say paste text. So if I wanted to create an SOP from scratch, I would use generate, or I can pull in a file from a URL. But I'm going to go paste in text, and then I'm going to drop the text in. Now, this is where I can choose, do I want it to be a presentation, a web page, or a document? I'm going to go with a document because I want it to be a document. Now I'm going to click continue. Now it's going to ask me a very important question here. It's going to say free form or card by card, because right now I do have this as a paid plan, so I can go up to 30 cards, but I don't want this to be 30 cards long if it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to say go card by card, and I'm going to say split this up for me. And then it's going to split it. And then if I don't like the split, then I will, let's just say if it made card 1 and card 2 the same, I would just duplicate a space and pull half of it out, paste it there, and add the other one. So I split that out. So now I can split it on my own and go, all right, do I like this? So these here should not be, so you can see it made a mistake. So this step 2, Command C, get rid of that. That needs to be here. So that's step 2. And this here, get rid of that. That needs to be here. Get rid of that. So I need to go through, look at it. I like that. Let's move step 9 here. Finalize. Let's get step 10. $11, $12, conclusion. Okay, so right now, so I ended up with 20 cards. So I didn't have to figure it out on my own. So I'm like, okay, that looks good. If I want to add a step, I can add one. So I'm like, okay, we're good with 20. Continue. I've already got my branding already set up. So I have these 2 that I use as my branding based on my color scheme. So I pretty much always go with this one. And now I'm just going to generate using AI, and we sit back and let it do its thing. La 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 la. It's background music. La 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 la. I just love looking at this like this. I am so good at writing. Look at me. This is me writing. Just in case you guys wondering who's doing this, I'm doing this, and I don't want you to hate on me. Okay. So. And again, so the question becomes, where would this live? So again, and this will work as a smaller, but as you start to expand, you're going to want to, I would prefer to get that document and upload that same, I could actually export this. Now, the funny thing is this. So let's just say this was how I had it. I could actually upload this as a PDF because I can export it as a PDF. I can upload it into Talify as a PDF and then make it trackable step by step. Okay. So as long as you can get something into a PDF form and you're using this tool, that's how you could leverage that. So let's come back over here. So it's still going. It's almost done. Is everybody good? Okay. Erica says I'm the best writer. Thank you. All right. So Erica says I saw a video to page on AppSumo. It mentioned SOPs, so I thought you might like to know. Okay. Video to page. Yeah. And again, there's so many tools out there. So at the end of the day, if you go on AppSumo or whatever site you go to, the key here is understanding what the SOP is and how you're going to leverage it and follow the best practices of leveraging an SOP to help grow your business and make the process of getting things done easier so you can scale better. Okay. So there it is there. You can present it. You can share it, which is where you now would go and export it as a PDF, PowerPoint, PNGs, whatever the case may be, publish it to a site. So there, whatever that process may be. And so that's it. And again, you can, I'm not going to go into the details of how to edit this. It's actually not difficult at all to edit inside of Gamma. And just to give you that guide. So this is the, for that, but just to show you how much I love Gamma since I've gotten it maybe a week ago. I use Gamma for everything. I would use a Gamma to talk to my mama. I just be like, hey, Mom, let me talk to you, but I'm going to do it through Gamma. It's a great tool. So, yeah, I love my tools. All right, so let's come back out of here. So the final thing is, it needs to be able to be shared easily. Distribute the SOPs via shareable links or embed them in the company knowledge bases. So let's say, so if you have a knowledge base and you want everything to live, let's say on your website and your knowledge base, then, using Scribe and then embedding it into the knowledge base could help with one SEO. But think about when we did the framework of 2020 of February 2024. We did using AI in your personal business life, and we did the thing around AI-based chatbots that will scan your website, and so it can answer questions on people's behalf. Well, if you got this embedded into your knowledge base and you scan and you let the AI chatbot scan it, it could answer questions for people when they're on your site and they ask the chatbot, hey, how do I do this? Now that could be both client-facing and internal. So again, the applications of how you might leverage these tools, think of the big picture. Think of everything that you might be able to utilize this for. And again, the good thing about Scribe is it's free, so you can still have a different tool that you're paying for and then leverage Scribe for other things. Because now that just hit me as I thought about that. I'm like, wow, if I had all that in an internal bot that was available to my team so they could just go to the bot and ask the question and it take them straight to the SOP that they should be following, because now they know the tool was like, oh, you mean this SOP? Oh, you mean that SOP? That's a part of this one. This is where you should be. Okay. So let me pause for a second. All right. So let me just finish this. Share easily. Ensure accessibility. Is it accessible to everyone, and how? And then how does it maintain consistency? As far as the versions, how are the versions updated? So again, I believe you can embed on the Talify as well. And again, if you make adjustments to this Eventbrite and it's embedded somewhere, it will update in real time. So these are things. Now, this might be the difference between these tools and a tool like Monday.com, which I'm not sure if you can embed these your project management tools into something that can be accessed outside of the platform itself or read. So now I'm starting to think, and again, this is what I need to do as I continue. These tools are going to start to pop up a lot more, or the concept around these tools as we continue to do our frameworks moving forward. Because again, now we're starting to get a big picture now that we're a year and a half into frameworks, where these frameworks are starting to overlap with each other. So if you've done something, you have that done. When we hit a framework where there's something you need to do and you're like, ha, I've already got it. This part will be easy for me. Okay. All right. And conclusion, this will be a time saver for you. It will also be not only a time saver, but it will save you money as you start to leverage these SOPs and these processes. Quality enhancement, automate capturing, and AI-driven optimization will improve your SOPs. It will push this. And again, I go back to the question that Zakia asked on one of the other calls about having somebody else do the SOPs for you. If you want to maintain ownership of the SOP and not feel like you're, for lack of another word, mooching off of their skills, you create the SOP using AI first and give it to them and have them modify it because then it came from you. Okay. And then organizational impact. As if people get on the right track, the train, the ship is going to move a lot smoother. Okay. So the resources I shared with you are Scribe, Talify, AnyWord, and Gamma. Right now, we just finished drafting SOPs. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about team feedback. So we're going to focus on the team. Again, if you're a team of one, then that'll be you. But if you, and a team doesn't mean internal, it means internal or external, all stakeholders and where they applied. Again, on some of these tools, you can have unlimited people that interact with the tool that may not necessarily have to do any actual work in it, but still have jobs or have tasks that need to be completed for you to complete your SOP and your process. Okay. So as always, stay active, stay focused, stay strong. That is the moving forward small business way. That's how we do. Plow. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull this down and let's get any final comments or thoughts or ideas from everyone here. This was exciting for me as I went through this today. I'm really excited about, I feel a lot more confident about passing off some of this stuff that is stuck in my brain.
Thank you for doing the homework. Sorry.
Yep. Nope. So good. Go ahead, Laura.
So which one are you going to use?
I think I'm going to have to use both. I like Talify a lot because of the trackability structure. But it can't, the one thing it can't do is we can't record. And I'm heavy on tools and training. So I have to use the Scribe. I just have to determine, do I need to pay for a pro version? Is it worth $60 for me? Yes, because it's tied directly to SOPs. And if I'm going to pass off this stuff for a growing business, I'd pay the $60 for the two. But I'm definitely going to use those tools. Now, will I go and look on AppSumo? I'll look at what Erica dropped there, you know, but I'm very particular about my tools. I'm not interested in a tool because I get full access to it. I'm interested in a tool because it can do exactly what I need it to do.
Okay.
Well, what about you? I pose the question back to you.
I like the Gamma. And then we've got a program already called Waybook, which can track when people have done things. So I will stick with that one, but I'll play with the others and see.
Okay.
The idea of using AnyWord to do the outline is always appealing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else?
There you go.
Witnessing the way you tech stack and AI stack is just absolutely amazing. I think Scribe to start off, and then we may use Talify.
Yeah. I think Talify more than anything because it has the delegation capabilities and it can reduce the documentation and trackability. So I think that's really where we're at, because what we do, I don't think really requires Scribe at the moment as far as like procedures on the computer, but I think Talify definitely, because you can delegate and you can track everything. So I think that's be more beneficial.
And that's the one that has the unlimited, at least I don't know if the other one does, but that's the one that has unlimited. So if you got, because you guys deal with clients, so you can, if it's just you two, you know, you're paying $35 because one of you is the main person on the account, and the other one is a co-worker. So you're paying the $5, and then everybody else or clients or partners, and they don't need accounts, and you can have as many of them as you want.
So if we have an SOP that we created or a task list that we created for a client, we can add them to Talify and track the tasks that they accomplish.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what we need right there.
Yeah. We need that.
believe me, I watched a lot of videos today. I was like, I got to fully understand this to the best of my ability, because they used to, but I really wanted to understand them. And I may have even misspoken yesterday and on Friday, thinking that they could do things, and then going, nope, this one can't, but this one can, this one can't, but this one can. But it's clear. So yeah, I think that's great. And again, this is where you play. You got 14 days free trial on that one. So you can set up a free trial on that at any point. The other one, again, is a free version, and you just upgrade if you decide you need to upgrade to it. But regardless of what tool you use, and I've said this to Erica, it's not about the tool. It's about what am I trying to achieve, and what tools do I already have, or what tools do I need to acquire to get it done.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, the biggest thing that I just made up my own takeaway was the embed feature, and being able to have your chatbot reference that in the chat as people are asking questions. That right there just blew my own mind.
That's a whole nother level right there.
You know, because there's going to be think about all the processes that you could actually create. That's a lot of content that you wouldn't necessarily want to have to find for people asking you questions all day.
Or keep answering every day, right? You just
absolutely
go to the chat bot. They'll answer the basic questions, and then you deal with the higher level ones.
Right. So so you go back to that document. Now I did create one final thing. I did create this document here, which is very, very old school. I just created an SOP template. And again, after what I've shown you, do you even want it? But I'm going to upload it anyway.
SOP template.
It's a great start.
Yeah. So it's just, it can be used even as a checklist to make sure that you're covering all the bases, because this could, you've got approval, department, version, effective date. So there's still stuff in here that you might go, this will just give you a better picture of, well, what should I be thinking about as an SOP?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So I did create that. And of course, I leaned on my buddy, Anyword, and mapped out 3 different variations and came up with this here, but again, that's how I leverage AI, because it helps me with my tasks, my very specific things that I'm responsible for on a day-to-day basis that gets me closer to my goal. And so everybody should be different based on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish and achieve, and how you're leveraging this technology. Like you said, Nikisha and Corey, you both actually gave 2 slightly different reasons why you would use the opposite tool. I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah, definitely.
So anybody else? M, I know you're new, but do you want to say anything?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I have one. I know that Elizabeth signed up for the marketing research with OSM, but I think a couple of us also did it through either DM or however it was sent originally.
You're not signed up. I just haven't gotten. I'm purchasing it either today or tomorrow. I haven't purchased yet. I'm gonna have a bunch of, because on the plan I'm getting, I'm gonna have 30 reports for the month. So I'm just giving everybody a report if they want one. So that's what that was.
And I think that some of us have actually requested it.
Yeah, at least 2 people.
Okay, cool.
Have sent this. So I got your link. So once I purchase it, I'm just going to run the report for you on that URL, and I'm just going to I'll message you inside of here that there's your report, and then you do whatever you want with it. But at least you'll have all that data.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome. And so so I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say that, everybody, if you want to get a report, I'm going to get it, because I need it I'm going to be running at least 5 to 10 projects that I just want to get that data, and then I'm just going to let it sit till I need it. So, okay. So if there's no other thoughts or questions or ideas, I'll let you go. I appreciate you all being here, and this training will be up in a little while with all the resources. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll keep this going. And I'd love to know, so before I let you go, so I know, Corey and Nikisha, you're working on SOPs. Laura, do you already have them, or are you improving them, or you're adding new ones? Where are you at with this process?
One needs to be replaced because we switched insurance agencies, and so the SOP is no longer valid and needs to be redone because it's a different way to do we have to do COIs to cover insurance for other companies. Mm-hmm. It's common with like contractors in particular in large office buildings. So the same applies to us. If we're going to be doing work in the building, we have to get we have to name the owner of the building as a second insured. And so the COIs are totally different now because we do them ourselves versus asking for our agency to do them. So that needs a new SOP. And then I have other ones that need to be done. Yes, we do have some, but they can be improved and they can certainly be expanded on.
Gotcha. And you saw the list of SOPs I created as a starting point, right?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Yeah. So you can add more. Like I said, I know when I get into this and I get going, I'm probably going to be in SOP heaven for about 6 months because I'm going to be throwing everything off my plan. But like, this is great. Who else can I give something to?
You've made it when you've got the VA writing the SOP and then all you're doing is looking at it to make sure it functions. So
Absolutely. So yeah, so it just makes life easier. Elizabeth, any final thoughts?
No, as being a one-person operation right now, I don't feel like I'm here I could see an application of the SOPs, but I'm so, kind of not at that stage yet. So I'm just logging it in.
Now think about this though, because you have a partner. SOPs are not, everything is a process. Even working with your partner on high level stuff, there's SOPs in that aspect of how you address things, how you work through certain, processes of prospecting, of building relationships and partnerships. Again, you want to think about these things even as a smaller business to go, what can I process and document? It's not just about, running advertisement, and I'm not running advertisement, so this is not relevant to me. This is very relevant, where you got to look at what can I process? What can I make an SOP out of that I am doing regularly? Because one day this will need to get off my plate. Or it's you're either getting it off your plate or you might be able to improve it. Like, so prime example is my partnerships, how I'm doing my partnerships. My partnerships strategy needs a massive update because people, as far as I'm concerned, have been taking way more advantage of me and I'm giving away way too much. So therefore, I need to come to the reality that I got to do a better job of managing my partnership strategy. I got to set flags. And Corey and Nikisha and I talked about this the other day, where a call got canceled today because they wanted to talk partnerships, and their idea of partnership and my idea of partnerships were different. So I made it very clear very early, where I had to message them twice, and then they canceled the call. So they didn't waste my time, but because that's how I put it. But in all essences, I didn't want them to waste my time.
Okay.
So think about it like that, where your high level strategies are still processes, and this is what we do, and we got to go out and try to build these relationships. There's a process, and we need to make sure that it's followed step by step every single time. And then as you improve it, you add that step into there to go, I just figured out something that we could do to make this. Now it becomes part of the SOP.
Thank you for clarifying. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'll let you go. And I thank you all once again and hope to see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Jimmy.
day.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Bye, everybody.